Live from where the streets are wide, it's the Geek Show.
It's another day in paradise, or so they say. Tony, press a button, please.
Oh, okay.
Hey, everybody. How's it?
Hi.
How? Oh my God, Captain America's
Captain
here!
America's here. Look at that. And Superman.
And Superman. Oh my God, and I'm
I'm-
just
Best of
beige
both worlds.
woman.
I'm wrapped in my Canada, though.
Canada.
It's Canada Flag Day, and there are protests all across Canada today
Fair.
for reasons that we'll just let people understand why.
Did you guys know Canada's prepping to go to war against us?
Yeah, that South Park movie?
Not so fictiony anymore.
Not so fictiony anymore.
Well, as you guys can probably notice, Carrie's not here. So
What?
let's introduce everybody else. It's Rob, Captain America.
Hello, America, Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea.
Quad T Tony.
Hey, I'm just wearing my portal gun diagram t-shirt. So,
Super portal.
That's me.
And our dear friend Jake Black, who probably wrote that.
I did probably write that. I'm so glad that like 6 weeks ago or whenever I was last year, a month ago, that I didn't screw up enough to not be invited back. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, whatever.
Made the cut.
Well, and plus, I wasn't there, and I wanted to hang out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And who is this? Our host today, Rebecca Frost.
Kids beat.
Kid Mutiny herself.
I spent a lot of time, and when I say a lot of time, 5 minutes, trying to download a clip from American Dad and convert it to MP3 so that I could play it here. And it just wasn't working. But there's an episode of American Dad with Kids Beat, where it's a kids news segment, and there's a little child on the scene of a car crash.
I could probably play that for you.
It's okay. I wouldn't worry about it.
American Dad. Kid car crash.
It's called Kids Beat with Little Maddie Moyer, who, by the way, Little Maddie Moyer is voiced by Skylar Gazondo, our dear friend Skylar Gazondo, who plays Jimmy Olsen in the upcoming Superman movie.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Stuff to think about. Anyway, so while you're trying to find that for me, which I really appreciate, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Oh, God, I can't call it that. Let's talk about the big game.
Big game.
Even big game, you're not supposed to call it anymore.
Are
I
you
heard.
for real?
Large game.
I did read that, like the NFL or whoever was like, too many people know what that is meaning, and so we're going to trademark that too.
Jeez.
That's stupid. I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that
yeah.
more than anything, especially because all of the press emails that I was getting for trailers and stuff that was dropping was called the big game spot.
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, anyway,
I might be wrong about that, but I think I remember hearing
but
that. Yeah.
I believe you enough. I believe the NFL is capitalistic enough to do that. But a lot of trailers dropped, including
What?
our friend Mathregan 2.0.
Oh.
And did you guys you see this? You hear about this?
I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I sure enjoyed that first movie. It was fun.
The trailer's fun. It's set to Chappell Roan's Phenomenon, and the movie is set 2 years after Mathregan went on a murderous rampage. Mathregan's creator, Gemma, played by Allison Williams, has become a high-profile author and an advocate for government oversight of AI. Meanwhile, her niece
Wait,
Katie is now
hang on a
14.
sec.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah, I
How
know.
did she get a job like that after the craziness that happened with the last thing she invented?
Hey, how does? Are you
no,
surprised?
hang on. Only white men are allowed to fail up. Okay?
Not white women.
Not white women.
I think there's an executive order about that, actually.
Yeah.
Probably. Do you
At
guys
least
remember? Do you guys remember when Obama would sign an executive order like one every 4 years, and it was
Yeah.
like a big deal? And now it's just like
400.
One a minute.
ay, ay, ay. Anyway, unbeknownst to them, the underlying tech for Mathregan has been stolen and misused by a powerful defense contractor to create a military-grade weapon known as Amelia, the ultimate killer infiltration spy. But as Amelia's self-awareness increases, she becomes decidedly less interested in taking orders from humans or in keeping them around. So,
Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
So with the
bit.
future of human existence on the line, Gemma realizes that the only option is to resurrect Megan and give her a few upgrades, making her faster, stronger, and more lethal.
The bionic Megan?
As their paths collide, the original AI bitch is about to meet her match. Isn't that fun?
I mean,
Wait a minute. Do they say the original AI bitch is coming back? Do they say that? Because if they don't use Elton John's "The Bitch Is Back" during that scene, no go for me.
My favorite thing about this is they're turning Megan into like a Terminator storyline.
Yeah.
Love
it
that.
was the villain. Now it's the good guy saving the world. Yep.
Do we get a thumbs up at the end?
You bet.
Probably.
I just love how that is. This like the movie poster? What is this?
This is from the trailer, I think.
Okay, yeah. I just love how this exact screenshot is like the face that one of my daughters made in our family portraits when she was like 3.
Oh my god.
So
Wow.
Anyway, that comes out on June 27th. Speaking of fighting AI, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning also dropped. For the plot, I don't know. Tom Cruise is still trying to fight the rise of AI. And as is per usual with these movies, he's got a big stunt, but this one has been kept under wraps until much closer to the release of the film, with Cruise revealing on February 7th that one stunt involved him hanging off of an upside-down propeller plane.
Okay.
I think this man is trying to die while making a movie.
Sure seems
He's been
right.
trying to
is it
die for
really-
forever. It's just that the time keeps
he
looping.
wants to die doing what he loves, which is
I get-
making movies and fighting
I got
AI.
I got your joke, Rob.
Thank you, Tony.
is he really? Is it really the final though?
So
Because I feel like next Super Bowl, next big game, next Superb Owl, we're going to have the Final Reckoning 2, maybe.
Probably.
So this
You
is
see?
technically a part 2 because Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 came out last year and then got delayed. Then they have renamed it Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And people who have seen this movie say that it does wrap up the franchise quite nicely. So I don't know.
You see, I think that it's kind of a potential miss if they do end the franchise here, because they set up Haley Atwell, her character in the last movie, to carry on as the new face of the EMI franchise.
Hmm. They did set up a torch passing.
And and I could see Cruise, Ethan Hunt being the guy who becomes the new secretary and hates, much like James Kirk in Star Trek Wrath of Khan, hates being behind a desk. He just wants to fly. And he can't because he's got to be in the chair.
He's got to be in that 3D printed mask.
I think Paramount owning both lends credence to that, Rob. I think they might even just pilfer that and here's a movie.
And we've got the Paramount Insider with us.
Yeah, because that turned out so well for me.
Spilled our secrets. So Mission Impossible, that comes out on May 23rd. Also coming out in May.
Well, I read there was like a bunch of hubbub about his face.
Yes.
What about his
he
face?
Looks so puffy.
He's old.
Well,
I was
no,
just gonna say,
no.
starting to look his age finally.
He's starting to look his age, but I mean, what? Okay, so he did the opening monologue for Football Weeing or Footballmas.
The what?
He did the
And-
opening monologue? What is it? Saturday Night Live?
So basically, there's like telling the tale of the battle is a big thing for the NFL. So
Okay.
like if you're watching Sunday Night Football, for example, they'll usually get somebody from one of the cities, like who's a celebrity or played football for that team, to kind of do the, we hate these other guys. This match is a, grudge match that goes back for the ages, blah, blah, blah.
Rivalry.
So at the beginning, before the game started, Cruz was talking about, good Lord, Philadelphia, Kansas City.
Easy mistake.
Basically in the same spot.
Basically, they're right next to each other.
But, there's like, they didn't get somebody from New Orleans to do it, blah, blah, blah. And then the only thing I could think of when I saw him pop up was, it's the Olympics all over again.
But he did that stunt, and he was
He
going to
did,
try to die
yes.
in front of the whole world.
Just saying.
He just keeps
But
on
he
living.
looked, but looking like that, like Tony said, he's looking his age now. I mean, and having recently watched all of the MI movies in order, it's like watching babyface Tom Cruise go to Flobish hair Tom Cruise, go to, buzz cut Tom Cruise, go to this. I'm just kind of like, yeah, Tom's
You
looking
think
a little,
the Scientology magic is wearing off?
not enough
so
Thetans.
long.
He doesn't have
Not
enough
enough
Thetans going on.
Thetans. Oh no. Anyway,
I saw a clip the other day of the movie, the old movie he was in. I can't remember which one it is, but the
Risky
one where
Business?
eyes wide shut.
I think it might have been Risky Business because he turns around, and is that the one where he's a high school student? He turns around and he slams the desk down on his buddy's stiffy.
Say it. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Because his buddy was being. It is an '80s movie. It was gross, and he slams it down on his buddy's problem.
And Rebecca's like, what movie does Tom Cruise do?
I'm googling
exactly.
dalliance. No, all the right moves.
All the right moves.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Football player.
And yeah, it was kind of funny.
I
You
think
get for being
that
a
also
creeper.
happened in Eyes Wide Shut. To be fair,
Yeah, we just if it wasn't on screen, it probably happened.
A lot of dong
You
smashing.
should just off screen.
A lot of dong smashing.
And Nicole Kidman was there.
Treating it like a ketchup bottle.
Okay, well,
Wow.
I want to talk about the Thunderbolts now because
a very nice transition. Well,
a
well
new
done.
trailer for the Thunderbolts asterisk also dropped. And this is so small. How do we make this bigger? Here we go. This is not a very good conducive to showing this, but yeah, here's a fun Thunderbolts on a Wheaties box. Everyone deserves a second shot.
Yeah.
So, team of ex-villains banding together to save the world when the real heroes are not available. Avengers have not yet reassembled, which we'll talk about a little bit later when we talk about Captain America: Brave New World. New spot showcases the team, which is made up of Black Widow movie veterans along with some others. We have Red Garden.
Garden? Welcome to Red Garden. Your family here.
Red Guardian, Yelena Boleva, Taskmaster. We have Ghost from Ant-Man 2, ex-Captain America, John Walker, and also Taskmaster. Or I did mention Taskmaster, sorry. Hosting this show is hard, you guys.
You're doing
Taskmaster, who barely makes an appearance in the trailer. I think she dies pretty early on in this movie. And also Bucky is there, our friend Bucky. This team is being run by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's been recruiting some of these team members in post-credit scenes for a while now, and this trailer reveals she's bought the old Avengers Tower. Bummer.
Don't think she bought it.
Oh, really?
Doesn't she work for the government? Wouldn't that mean
I don't think the government bought it. I think that we're going to see, as a parallel to the comics, another person with Marvel ties who has a
Norman
hatred.
Osborn bought it? Really? That would be something.
I don't know.
Because
but
the
also,
Thunderbolts, this incarnation of the Thunderbolts was his Dark Avengers,
Right.
which you basically have a setup of Dark Avengers here. Three Captain Americas, a Black Widow, a Thor stand-in, and Ghost and Taskmaster.
who's your Thor stand-in?
Sentry.
Well, I think he's the baddie.
I'm not saying that he's both.
Maybe. He's both.
He may be
in
both.
the
I mean,
comics.
because look at this. How do you fight? How do you fight this?
We are going to get so
You
With a
have
very
this
bright
team-
light.
You have this team of people who Yelena literally says in the trailer, all we do is punch and shoot. How is punching and shooting going to stop this guy who turns people into shadow voids?
I don't know. I'm excited.
I would
to
argue
find
Ghost
out,
could do
though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pull a Kitty Pryde. That's all I'm saying.
But that's so spooky. Isn't that spooky? And he grabs Bucky's arm and is like, "You think you're so strong," and rips his arm off. Isn't that crazy?
I'm very excited for this movie.
Rob, I would love to know more about Sentry.
Sentry has a very weird history.
Do we want to, though? Because we could be veering into spoilers for the movie.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
Yeah,
then
I'm just going to say he's got a.
well,
The only thing I was going to say was that is totally non-spoiler is that Sentry is a relatively new creation to Marvel within the past, I want to say 15 to 20 years.
Yep.
But in his introduction, they introduced him as a character that had been around since the 60s.
One of the
And that
coolest,
everybody knew.
Yes, one of the coolest introductions of a new character I've ever seen done in comic books. I thought that was such a good storytelling.
So it's sort of the Animaniacs thing then.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
He's a character that was around in the 40s and lived in the water tower
Exactly.
at the Avengers Tower, we'll say.
Yeah.
In the basement.
Locked away.
Tony's
In the
dark
basement.
lab.
Oh my God, Tony Stark's been experimenting on humans.
Well, I mean, he's already seen we've seen what he's done with robots. I mean, come on. This is his next step.
Anyway, speaking of other trailers, this one did not come out during the Super Bowl, but it's Anthony Mackie week, and there's a new trailer for season 2 of Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Let's see. John Doe and Quiet, played by Stephanie Beatriz, enter the Twisted Metal tournament, a sinister demolition derby hosted by a mysterious man known as Calypso, played by Barry's Anthony Kerrigan. Yes. And as they try to survive an onslaught of dangerous new foes and familiar faces alike, including the murderous clown Sweet Tooth, who is voiced by Will Arnett and embodied by Samoa Joe, things get complicated when John reunites with his long-lost sister, the vigilante Dollface.
Okay.
Tony, you watched
said
this
words
show.
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
this first. If you guys haven't watched this first season, you need to watch it. It is a lot of fun. Never in my wildest dreams did I think they'd be able to turn Twisted Metal into a good TV show, but they did. It's quite good.
I love
Jay.
Samoa Joe, by the way. Like,
And
on a personal level.
He does a fantastic job embodying Sweet Tooth. Like, really good.
Okay, so I question because of what Jake just said. I'm assuming he's a wrestler or was a wrestler.
He is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a wrestling. Don't follow wrestling. So it's like Jake says that he knows at a personal level. Did he follow? Is he a wrestler? Now it makes sense. But when you were saying all of the words of all the people in this, I'm like, okay, so you've got Anthony Mackie,
Yep.
Stephanie Beatriz, who I also remember from voicing Jessica Cruz in a DC animated feature.
Oh, did she? I didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah. And you said Calypso, and I wish the first thing that come to mind had been Jacques Cousteau. It wasn't. It was John Denver.
Oh,
Because he had a song
the
called...
Tampa of...
No. John Denver had a song called Calypso, and it was about Jacques Cousteau. And I'm just kind of like... So I see this face. I'm just kind of like, oh, dear God.
Can you sing it for us?
I cannot.
Oh.
Nobody
wish you
wants
would.
that. Nobody wants that.
After party.
After party. So
I like our patrons too much to do that to them.
this is what they paid for. So that's all the trailers that I wanted to talk about. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping.
I have to interject though. There was a slight Superb Owl trailer, not on Fox, but we got a second look at Crypto from the
We
Superman
did.
movie.
There was a bunch. There were no new Superman trailers, but there was like the Puppy Bowl. I think was sponsored by Superman.
Yep.
And we did. And oh my gosh, I'll have to try to find it. There was a clip, I think, from the Superman Twitter account that was like the only bowl we care about, and it was Guy Gardner.
Bowl cut. Yeah, it is disturbing.
And there was a spot during the Puppy Bowl, or it's the intro to the Puppy Bowl or something, with Crypto like chewing on the Puppy Bowl logo.
Isn't he so cute?
He's the best, man.
I saw a post that was like Nepo baby casting because oh gosh, let's see, here it is.
So gross looking.
He looks like
He's making like a weird face too.
He looks like a douchebag.
Well, Guy
It is
Gardner.
probably.
This guy.
I was just going to say it's probably the most comic accurate character to ever be on screen. Is that Guy Gardner right
I
there?
can't wait to see him
Nathan
get
Fillion,
punched in
come
the
on.
face.
He looks like such a douchebag. Okay. back to housekeeping, everybody. Get your brooms and go to the geekshow.store where you can get t-shirts and flags and lanyards and hats and hoodies and a poster.
Yep.
Isn't that fun?
All those things.
And also, geekshowgotthiscovered.com. It is our Patreon where you can support us for some extra content, like the after party where we talk about stuff we cannot talk about here live on the show, like food. And sometimes Carrie has videos. Sometimes I have a space podcast. Lee and Rob do a tabletop show. And that you can find all of that at geekshowgotthiscovered.com. Okay. Back to super football, everybody. This is old news, but it's been brought up again recently due to Kendrick Lamar's fantastic halftime show. So this story is from April of last year, but Trey Parker is directing an upcoming American comedy film that is going to be co-produced by Parker and Matt Stone. We know them as our friends from South Park. And also collaborating with Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free. So filming began in October of last year, and this film is set to be released in July of this year. And we don't have a title for it, and I didn't even know what it was about until I went to Wikipedia. And here's what the film is about. The film will depict the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his.
Oh, no.
So.
Oh, no.
What we like Kendrick Lamar, everybody. We like Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah.
Wow.
My concern is that this is going to be just as prophetic as the South Park movie was 25 years ago with the impending invasion from Canada.
Invasion from Canada or invasion of Canada?
Well,
Six is
one, half a dozen of another. Who knows where this is going?
Wow. I mean, I've got to say that this is the week of Kendrick Lamar because not only did he have the that halftime show, but he also did the closing theme for Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh, He did. It was a big Kendrick week. What did we think of the halftime show, everybody?
It was awesome. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. It ruled. I love Kendrick Lamar.
Look
what
at
is it like that? It is the most watched halftime show of all the halftime shows so far. Is that what I read?
It was the one before that was Michael Jackson's.
How did they calculate that? Just like viewers of the Super Bowl during that stretch of time?
I would assume Nielsen rating.
Oh, Nielsen rating. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it was also the most viewed Super Bowl.
Oh,
was
I
it?
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was because it was everywhere. Like every streaming service was covering it. It seemed like.
Because everybody wanted Kansas City to lose.
I was rooting hard against Kansas City.
Guilty.
This is a bird's house, everybody. And I'm sorry, I loved that Kansas City got their asses handed to them, like so handily. Did you also see New Orleans greasing the poles like they do in Philadelphia whenever there's a game?
On.
Yeah, that doesn't stop Philadelphia fans.
They just take the pole down. Done.
They did just take the poll down. SZA was there. Love SZA.
But you're forgetting the big one,
Serena crip walking on Drake's grave. Wasn't that nice?
Yeah, I will take the Canada loss on that one.
Especially considering the Sunday before, Kendrick won 5 Grammys for this diss track. Oh, Samuel L. Jackson was there too?
Yeah. That was really cool.
Uncle Sam,
Samuel.
my favorite Uncle Sam.
Yep.
Hey, James Gunn, get him to do, if you do a Freedom Fighters movie, I want Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam, just for that reason.
Ooh.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would like to talk now about the biggest news of the week, I think. And Jake, I am particularly curious about your feelings on this. Taylor Lautner, Werewolf Hunter.
I saw this on the list and I was like, I am psyched for this.
Wait,
Okay,
are you a big Lautner fan?
One second.
Oh, he's got his.
He's gonna get a werewolf pin. Get a werewolf pin.
It's not that I think he's a fan. It's because he shares a name with the character.
Ah.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Yes.
right. Okay. There it is. There's double Jake Blacks right now.
So, Jake,
Yeah.
as a person named Jake Black, how did Twilight affect you?
Well, okay. Here's the story. I'm so excited. Here. So we're just going to keep this right here for this part of the conversation. By the way, I have the New Moon one because the actual Twilight one, he was shirtless. And my mom bought this for me, and she didn't want to buy a shirtless one. So, as you may recall, Twilight hit its peak in 2009.
I was there, yeah.
Yes, which happened to be the same year that I was going through chemo.
Oh, God.
And when I would call anyone about that, insurance companies, medical appointments, whatever.
Oh,
All right, what's your name? Jacob Black.
I know.
But here's the thing. It did actually legitimately change my life in a way. First of all, my wife actually bought swag based on a property because she's got so much Team Jacob crap that it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I wrote the trading cards for the first movie.
What?
The first Twilight movie. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got those over there too, but I'm not going to run and grab those. The action figure was enough. But to do that gig, they wanted me to read the books. So I read all 4 books in the span of about 2 weeks.
Word.
Oh, your brain.
And yeah, I was thrilled. I was thrilled about this. And this announcement, it blew the roof off our house.
It was a big Twilight day at the Black House. So the official log line for this show, Taylor Lautner, Werewolf Hunter, reads, after wrapping the final Twilight film, Taylor Lautner vanished from the spotlight. Fans speculated, tabloids theorized, but the truth is wilder than fiction. Taylor wasn't just taking a mental health break, he was preparing for his real calling, Taylor Lautner, Werewolf Hunter. Playing himself, Taylor is drawn into a secret society of werewolf trackers who need his unique expertise. As he navigates his double life, Hollywood actor by day, supernatural warrior by night, Taylor must wrestle with the ultimate irony, fighting the very creatures that made him famous. Between saving the world, reviving his career, and falling in love, he faces the ultimate question. What happens when your biggest role becomes your greatest enemy?
He's playing himself in this?
Yeah, I do have beef because technically in the Twilight books, he's not a werewolf.
Correct.
Oh,
you are correct. He also impresses on an infant, so we can just ignore that part too.
Just disregard it. Just disregard it.
Right on by that.
Yeah. So, what do we think?
Considered shapeshifters in the Twilight series?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just the animal they just happen to shapeshift into is wolves.
See, I would shapeshift into a bear. It's bigger and stronger. Why would you not do that?
Well,
and silver bullets don't matter.
Is Sasquatch on the menu? I would do Sasquatch.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
I think Tony, that sentence there. Is Sasquatch on the menu? I would do Sasquatch. If that's not your tagline next week.
That's out of context, but I don't mind. I'm going to go with it.
Right.
My big question about this is, will his abs have to be AI?
I don't think so. I think he maintains. I think he maintains.
He's still young enough. He can just get that back in. No
problem.
So
that's. I will say that was my answer when everyone laughed on the phone when I say my name. My name is Jacob Black. Ha ha ha. You should see my abs. Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy. So what's your favorite Twilight book then, Jake?
I'm going to go with the first one.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
They got progressively
weirder,
less entertaining. Yeah, weirder is a better word. I will say I did go to school at the same time as Stephanie Meyer.
Did you? Oh, at the same time, but not the same school.
At the same school.
Oh my God!
We'll leave it there. She was a couple years older than me, and our paths never crossed. But,
So is she like the most famous person from your high school?
Oh no, I went to college.
Oh,
with her at the same school. Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm.
Yeah. No, I don't know who the most famous person from my my high school would have been.
And it's you.
No,
Yeah, it's probably you.
If you can't identify somebody else as being the most famous person from your high school,
well, it's probably Lavelle Edwards. Let's be real.
Oh,
It's fairly well known.
For a certain segment of the population, I will give you that, but I'll say generally speaking, it's you. For me, it's you.
No, for you, I will lay it down there. You know, actually, who it is Tamina from the WWE.
Whoa.
She's the daughter of Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and she wrestled in WWE for about 15 years. That's the most famous person from my high school. She has action figures.
Whoa.
You have an action figure.
You technically have action figures.
Yeah.
You just held one up.
I saw it.
Fair.
The most famous person from my high school is Karl Rove.
Mine's Julia.
Louis Dreyfus?
No, she went to Alta High School. She was on the Dancing with Celebrities. What's it called?
Dancing with the Stars. You were so close.
That one. And then
the Tampa of reality shows.
She was one of those dancers on there, and then she went on to actually do some movies.
Julianne Hough?
Juliana Huff. That's the one.
Oh, that's I'll give you that one.
Yeah, she's famous.
Yeah, she's probably the most famous person from Alta High School.
Whoa, crazy.
I had to
Karl Rove,
because I went to private schools. I had to look mine up. And it looks like Evan Dando from the Lemonheads is probably one of our most famous graduates.
Whoa.
Well, that's not insignificant either, though, Rob.
What's a Lemonhead?
Band.
It's a band.
A candy. Oh,
I know the candy.
Carrie would be appalled if you were here.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised Carrie hasn't called in. Carrie's on a magical vacation, a spite vacation, I think he called it.
I think.
Yes.
Speaking of spite, I guess I'm trying to segue here, you guys. D&D is going to go to Netflix. The streamer has taken in for development The Forgotten Realms, a live-action Dungeons & Dragons series. The project comes from one of the top producers on the streamer's roster, Sean Levy, who you might know from Stranger Things and Deadpool and Wolverine, and writer-showrunner Drew Crivello from We Crashed and Hasbro Entertainment. I don't know. They're just going to do a series at Netflix, and I don't think it's going to tie in at all with the movie that we all know and love.
Which is fine. Actually, if they're doing Forgotten Realms, that gives them, honestly, an entire world to work with. And if they can do either an anthology, because there's a number of different, back in the late 80s, early 90s, TSR did like book series from different parts of the Forgotten Realms. So they could either do anthology, or they could just bring in, name drop and or bring in guest stars and follow a party of adventurers that just happens to run into these people that, long-term gamers would know.
Is Forgotten Realms separate from the regular map of D&D?
I did hear that the Honor Among Thieves movie was also in the Forgotten Realms universe.
It was in. So the Forgotten Realms is kind of like the probably currently most famous general world of D&D. And Egg, yes, Drista's Forgotten Realms up in Icewind Dale.
Is that a typo? DRZZT?
No,
it should be DRIZZT.
Oh, good God.
Maybe they don't believe
nerd. But the Forgotten Realms is kind of like the most common setting. There's a couple of others like Greyhawk, Eberron, the Dragonlance world, and a couple of others, Spelljammer.
Well, where's Baldur's Gate in all of this?
Forgotten Realms.
Oh, okay.
Is that real?
Deep, Baldur's Gate,
is that true?
Those areas.
Yes.
Oh, God.
My
husband keeps trying to get me to play Baldur's Gate, and I'm like, absolutely no, thank you. I will not.
What? Why? You don't like fun things?
Like it.
You don't like Baldur's Gate? You don't like D&D?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. I just want this show.
Well, no, here's the thing.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It's not that I don't like D&D. I just don't like fantasy, and I don't like this type of video game. That's all.
fine. Be that way.
Then we'll just bring over some dice to your house. We'll just play there. No video game involved at all.
Okay.
I just want this show to be a live action version of the cartoon from the 80s, which I was not allowed to watch because of Satanic Panic parents.
Oh, yeah.
But I watched it anyway.
Yeah, that was me
Good
and The
for you.
Simpsons.
So subversive.
Well, if it's Forgotten Realms, and you said that it's not tying into the series because those characters did appear in Honor Among Thieves.
They did. They showed up in the back.
Yep, just for a minute on the playing field for the test.
In the maze.
Yeah, in the maze. That's what I'm thinking of.
You guys, that movie rips. It's on Netflix now.
It's really good.
It's so
It's a fun movie. And it makes you feel that they actually had people who actually understood the game writing
that's what I love about the movie is it feels like you're watching an actual game being played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, the scene with the fat
afterplay.
dragon and the scene with his face melting, I couldn't stop laughing.
God, it was so good. Speaking of Satanic Panic, The Monkey, which is coming out from writer-director Osgood Perkins, who did Long Legs. Neon, the studio distributing this movie, is giving the gift of the monkey to all of God's children by making it available to screen in churches across the country. Unite your congregation by applying at godsbowlingstrikestonight.com. Only submissions from authorized religious institutions will be considered. So I went to the website, and I would like to share.
Is 50 South Temple considered
Maybe
on that approved list?
I don't know.
Probably.
This website, it does look like it's straight from GeoCities. Like it is a very poorly made website. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and its writer's name was Death, the Revelation quote, or whatever it is. For the first time since the creation of God's great earth, a major motion picture is available to screen in churches simultaneously with the movie multiplexes across America. Praise be the Lord for having given us the gift from the movie gods, and to Osgood Perkins for filling our hearts with his gift on God's green earth. Unite your congregation and share this hallowed gift of life. Screen the monkey and click below. So if you go to apply for the church screening, it takes you to, again, this just horrific form. Based on the novel by Stephen King, produced by James Wan and written and directed by Osgood Perkins, The Monkey has been worshipped by critics as absolutely fucked up, some sick shit, smothered in an avalanche of gore, ultra vicious. In 100 words or less, tell us why your congregation should be blessed to witness the gift of the monkey. And then there's a text box. Question 2, does your church believe that salvation is achieved through faith or film? And you can pick from a drop-down menu of faith or film. And then question number 3, what is the greatest sin of all? And the drop-down menu only has one option, using your phone in a movie theater.
Okay.
So, if you would like to watch The Monkey in your church, go on ahead and fill out this form. And
Ask Mike Bishop if he'll fill it out.
yeah.
Kyle, I got ordained so I could do somebody's wedding, so we could just do a church congregation of 2.
There you go.
Tony?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Where's I think you'd probably just watch it at your house.
Yeah.
Sure.
The last thing I want to talk about today is really great for the audio format of this podcast, but I just wanted to show you guys some set photos from the He-Man movie. Production is underway on the live-action Masters of the Universe movie.
And pink shirt, right?
Yeah, so he's got his pink shirt and he's showing off his sword to a cop, and they don't like that. So it looks like
no swords allowed.
So it looks like they're arresting our friend He-Man.
So are they doing this Amethyst of Gem World style, where he grows up on Earth not knowing his heritage and then becomes He-Man and saves an alternate universe?
So
I think they did say that he was going to have grown up on Earth, yeah.
Based on what we've heard, the movie will introduce Adam as a regular guy in the real world, working a boring office job. Apparently, the whole He-Man and the Masters of the Universe story are tales that he heard as a little kid. And the rumored synopsis follows this same storyline. 10-year-old Prince Adam, who crashed on Earth in a spaceship and was separated from his magical power sword, the only link to his home on Eternia. After tracking it down almost 2 decades later, Prince Adam is whisked back across space to defend his home planet against the evil forces of Skeletor, Alison Brie. But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Mars.
Okay, so he's sent to Earth in a spaceship. I'm going to go different than you might expect and not take the Superman route here, and take the classic He-Man origin and go. His mother was a NASA astronaut. Did she send him to Earth with her old rocket?
Maybe. Well, Eternia did have advanced technology, so they could have.
They didn't have rocket ships, though.
You don't know that.
Yeah, they did. The sky speeder things.
He-Man fight.
Those are
He-Man
just
more
airplanes,
fight.
man.
Just put a bubble over the cockpit and send it into space.
You know, if they have a cosmic key, though, Rob.
Okay, fair.
That's
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but the one thing, so if he's growing up on Earth, the one thing that I would both love and hate to see in this movie is him at some point just singing "What's Going On."
What's going on?
No, not the Marvin Gaye one, the Four Non-Blondes one, the remix version.
Can you sing that for me?
I can. I'm not going to.
Rob! You keep volunteering this song knowledge and not sharing
I am
any of
giving
it.
you the knowledge. You have the ability to see the video for yourselves of Prince Adam breaking down what's going on your own. I trust you with this knowledge.
I'm busy trying to host the show. I can't just go Googling things.
Did they this week? Was it this week that I saw they announced who's playing the sorceress in this movie? I think I saw that.
Yeah. Gosh, what was it?
Sorceress.
It sounds like she hasn't seen it, and that kind of scares me because I thought Rebecca had seen everything.
Alison Brie as Evil Lynn, right?
Evil
Is that
Lynn,
right?
right.
Yeah. That's so genius. That's so
Morena
good.
Baccarin.
Yeah, Marina Baccarin.
Oh.
Yeah, the sorceress. So,
the only opinion I care about, Egg says that his hair is so spot on. And I love that. Anyway, that's all. What did you guys watch?
And done.
What do you guys want to talk about? What you consumed this week?
I'll go.
I can start. I got stuff.
Yeah, Jake, take it away.
So, first of all, my one big disclaimer is most of what I watch is because I'm working on a project for it. I probably wrote that.
Brag. Tell me more.
I will say that I watched a fair amount of SpongeBob, and that I also had to do a rewatch of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Hey man, are you working on that SpongeBob movie that's coming out this year?
I am not. I'm not, unfortunately.
Okay.
I think what I can say though is it's a 25th anniversary project.
Oh, that's fun.
That's amazing, Rebecca.
Cat tail.
Is that Maggie?
No, that's Simon. Maggie cannot jump up this high because she's only got 3 legs.
I will say my 2 real consumption things for this week. Actually, I'm going to say 3. Coke Zero Orange Cream.
Dreamsicle,
is back in stores.
Mm.
It's not been available for a few years. I saw it today, and I was like, "This is my favorite drink ever." So I've got.
Oh, really?
And cases were buy one get one free. That was not what I intended to share today, though. First one, Superpowers Wave 10, McFarlane line. They have been doing for the last about 3 years, reviving the Superpowers action figure line. I love it because they are to scale with the old Superpowers toys. What I don't love about it is they don't have actual superpowers. That was the gimmick of the 80s line, is you like squeeze their legs and they punch and stuff. This line doesn't have that. But I was able to find at GameStop, that glare on that is horrific, the Chase Batman unmasked Bruce Wayne figure.
Nice.
Super jazzed about that. The other thing I've been consuming this week is the trade paperback for the comic series, miniseries, The Pedestrian.
Look at him go.
Is he speed walking?
Power walking.
Is he speed walking? Power walking?
He is a speed walker.
Okay.
Behold, the pedestrian, a strange visitor speedwalks into Summer City and silently changes the lives of its residents. But not all is quiet in the sleepy small town. An ancient conflict linked to the secret history of street signs is brewing. Don't walk, run. In The Pedestrian, justice always has the right of way. This
Pedestrian has the right of way, except when they in the way.
Oh.
This is, it was written by my pal Joey Esposito, with whom I worked at that corporation that shall not be mentioned because I got in trouble mentioning them once before. And art is by my other buddy, Sean Van Gorman. This is brilliant. When Eisner nominations start coming out in a couple of months, watch for this to be all over that. Trade hit this week. Pick it up. It is brilliantly insane or insanely brilliant.
Why not both?
It can be two things, sure. But check it out. Pedestrian.
Nice.
And that's what I've been consuming.
Excellent. Thank you, Jake. Who would like to go? Oh, Tony. After you.
All right. Catching up on the new season of Invincible on Prime, and it is still just amazing. So good. I think I'm only one episode behind at this point because they dropped 3 on day 1 and then do weekly after that. So I think I'm on episode 4 or 5. And it is, I mean, if you like the first 3 seasons, season 4 is also just firing on all cylinders.
So
really good stuff.
This release schedule is new compared to their previous release schedules. Is that correct?
It's a little bit different because instead of taking a break halfway through the season for like a month and a half, there's no break. They're just putting them all out a week at a time, and it's been absolutely fantastic. They really kind of, the stuff between Cecil and Invincible start to come to a head, and craziness ensues from there. Also caught up all the way on Mythic Quest, another TV show that if you haven't been watching that, it is top notch, hilarious, and also like has episodes where you're just like, oh man, I really feel for these characters now. Like they really bring you into what the character's been going through and what led them to be the way they are, which is just some of my favorite kinds of television that can be zany and also heartfelt or whatever at the same time, or among episodes. And then last but not least, we watched a movie last night for Valentine's Day, and it is called Your Monster.
Oh, I missed that at Sundance last year, but I've heard it's really good.
It's really good. I highly recommend it if you're in the mood for a rom-com. A little bit heavier on the com than the rom for sure, that's how I like my rom-coms.
What's it about?
It's kind of a modern day Beauty and the Beast, but 15 minutes in, I looked at my wife and I said, I already like this a lot better than the live action Beauty and the Beast. It's
Which
well, the live action Beauty and the Beast was a bit rough.
It was kind of the Emma Watson one, yeah. It was okay, but no, I highly recommend Your Monster. Very good. It's on HBO or Max, I guess, and it's about an hour and 40 minutes. Very funny, very interesting, and it's. I don't want to give away too much because but think of a modern day Beauty and the Beast kind of a thing, but less emphasis on the curse aspect of it. Like there's not really a curse on the beast or anything like that, but it's just one that you're watching like, this is really good, and then at the end you're like, oh, that was interesting. So yeah, good stuff right there.
Where is it?
It's on, I believe it's on Max.
Okay,
streaming on Max. Yep. And yeah, like Rebecca said, it was a Sundance movie last year. So
Excellent. Thank you, Tony. Robert.
All right, so let's see, starting off, happy Black History Month.
Woo!
As such, also going into our book talk. Come on, turn. There we go. I am finishing up The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. If that name is familiar, I mentioned her last week or 2 weeks ago with Far Sector, introducing Joe Mullane as a Green Lantern. This, as I think I've mentioned this book or the one that came before it, The City We Became, as New York has avatars for each of its boroughs, and an invading city comes in and is like, yeah, you just need to die. And in this book, all of the New York avatars have come together. They're trying to also get help from other cities around the world that have also, from their avatars, in fighting this invader. And it's not going well. Not going really well. So I'm really looking forward to how this wraps up. I'm hoping to finish it this evening. But there's also, for those of you who are fans of Lovecraftian mythology, there's a tie-into this in both of these books that is just kind of fun and a bit unexpected in the way that they bring it in.
I love Lovecraft.
So there we go. Comic-wise, One World Under Doom, #1. Dr. Doom is just basically like, I'm taking over everything. You all...
Again?
Classic Robert Downey Jr.
Basically, this time it's basically all of your leaders have voluntarily submitted to my rule. So here's what you're getting. You're getting free healthcare, you're getting education, you're getting all of these, what should be basic human rights.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
And the Avengers are kind of like, maybe not. And hilarity does not ensue. But, I mean, it's actually a fascinating read. And the great thing about this is it's written by Ryan North, who's doing the current run on Fantastic Four. And his take on Doom is, his handle on Doom is actually really good. And he writes Doom as at his haughtiest, I guess, basically just like, I'm doing this for your own benefit because I'm so magnanimous.
Hottie,
fantastic.
Hottie.
Not HAUGHT, not HOTTY.
Oh,
Hottiness.
All right.
Excellent read. And if you're not reading the Fantastic Four run currently, I would say this is a good jumping on point with One World Under Doom and current run of FF. Captain America #2. Sam Wilson, Captain America #2. Not seen on this variant cover. We get more with Captain America investigating this new city that the corporation is building that sounds too good to be true, and it kind of is. And we also meet as a bit of a tie to Captain America Brave New World. We don't have Isaiah Bradley in this, but we do have his son, Josiah X, who hasn't been seen in comics probably in about 10 years, 10 or 15 years. Moon is following us, #6. Fantasy, where fantasy and the real world kind of collide, and people are not the allies or enemies that they seem. There's a bit of a title shift here, and it works. I believe the series is a 10-issue miniseries, so in the next 4 issues we get to see how the changes that Sam and Duncan, trying to save their daughter Penny, undertake. Absolute Superman #4. Lois Lane is on the trail of the Superman, and nobody's given him up. She's
Good.
Investigating, I would say interrogating in most cases, all these people who've encountered him and who've worked with him or worked alongside him, and they're just, we don't know where to find him. We know nothing about him. He comes in, he does his thing, and he leaves.
In the Absolute universe, Lois Lane, I don't think if you've mentioned this yet previously, but she's a government agent.
She's a government agent,
She's
Lois Lane.
not a reporter.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
the Nepo baby kind of thing for her.
Yeah, in this one, it actually
General
is.
Lane,
Yeah.
It actually is.
So it's a different take on Lois Lane. She's kind of the same-ish character in that she's very smart, very driven, but she's got a different agenda this time.
Yeah, very dogged in getting to what she perceives as the truth.
Yep.
And just watching the way that she interacts with her father and with the other peacekeepers who are actually peacemakers is interesting. And the peacemaker that you would know from the James Gunn series, for example, is in this, and he is a little bit of a loose cannon. And by a little bit, I mean slightly.
Big.
Which is so different from how he is on the James Gunn show.
Because he's so
More
straight-laced.
so. But it's actually even more so. And it's really, it comes to a head at one point in this issue. X-Men #11, and yes, that is an Akanti. For those of you who are history fans of the X-Men, they're back, and Jed MacKay is writing the X-Men fantastically. Like I said last week, I'm loving his take on Scott Summers as PTSD poster child, but also a visit from somebody we haven't seen in an X book in probably 4 to 5 years shows up with not great news for Cyclops. And finally, and this is for Tony.
What do you got?
I'm sorry, this is for me and Tony. So
Green
the rest of you just
Lantern?
kind of phase out, tune out if you need to. Green Lantern Corps #1.
Oh, yeah.
In the wake of the demise of the United Planets Green Lantern Corps, this Corps is stepping back up into the spotlight with John Stewart. It looks like he's still leader, but they have Jessica Cruz as Corps captain, and kind of assigning people out. But you
got
all of
Look at that
Yeah, I was gonna
bowl.
say,
Yeah.
Full cut.
clearly,
Simon
Guy
Baz.
is the leader there, Rob.
Yeah, clearly. That is a good-looking crew.
This is actually I was giddy reading this entire book. Just the writing on it was solid. We get a visit from an old frenemy of the Corps, who was given a pretty prominent role in this issue. And I was like, oh, that's a choice. Okay.
Nice.
Fun read, written by Jeremy Adams, who's been doing the other Green Lantern titles in DC, and they're all in series. This is actually a great jumping in point, and if you're not familiar with the history of the Corps, you don't need it for this. You can come into this book, and they've done a great job with their all-in series of just being like, we know that there are people who have not been reading comics for 20, 30, 40 years. They need to be able to have a very low barrier to entry, and the all-in titles are great for that. And just because I got this but haven't had a chance to go through it yet this week, the new D&D Monster Manual dropped this past week.
Nerd.
For the D&D, super nerd. I'm not going to lie. And there you go.
Cool.
Happy reading.
Thank you, Rob. I started a TV show on Hulu called Paradise.
Oh, I watched Paradise too. I forgot to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Are you caught up on Paradise?
I don't think I'm all the way caught up, but I think we've watched the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
I have described this show as lost on easy mode, and it's really scratching an itch for me. Like it is full of twists. So the show, I don't want to tell you too much about it. A Secret Service agent investigates the murder of a former president in a seemingly peaceful community. That's all I want to say about it. And Hulu has been trying to get me to watch this show for weeks. And I'm like, damn, Hulu, okay, fine. So I started it, and I was like, oh, I think I'm hooked right away.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Go ahead. Sorry.
It is twisty. It's very politically thrillery, and I love all these kinds of things. And like I said, it feels
a dash of sci-fi.
A dash of sci-fi. It, like I said, it feels like Lost on easy mode, and it's really scratching an itch for me.
And if you're a fan of Sterling K. Brown doing
Who's not?
Exactly, especially him doing his like stern kind of character where he's like, I'm
extremely straight-laced.
I'm going to figure out what's going on, and this is what we're going to do, which I love when he does those kind of characters. He is in top form in this show.
I will say James Marsden is there.
Cyclops. I mean, Richard.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's only 5. I think when this podcast episode comes out, episode 6 comes out, and it's
really good. It's got me.
She's
hooked,
lost
like,
words.
Yeah, it's got me hooked. Like Severance season 1 got me hooked.
I have been walking around various different people. Are you guys watching Paradise? Are you guys watching Paradise? I'm just like, because I'm trying to talk about Paradise with people, and so I finally got a friend. He started watching it. He's like, "What have you done to me?" And I'm like, "You see what I've been dealing with for the last week." So Paradise.
What's the runtime? What's the runtime on that?
So each episode is like an hour long, and I think there's only 8 episodes total to come out.
Sorry, you just reminded me, Tony.
Go ahead.
Really quick. I just finished season 1 of it For All Mankind.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. And lucky you can just go right on to the next 3 seasons, unlike me, and have to wait 10 years in between each season.
Like people who started Severance season 1 back in 2022.
Exactly. So
thanks, Apple TV.
Real quick on Paradise, it's Dan Fogelman, and if you know anything about the stuff Dan Fogelman has made, you know
This Is
you just kind
Us.
of tell it's going to be good. And guess what? Yeah, if you thought This Is Us pulled at had a tendency to pull at your old heartstrings, well, Paradise is going to do that too.
I messaged Tony and I was like, this is literally why I don't watch This Is Us, because I don't want to just spend an hour crying.
Yeah.
I have better things to do with my time. And then there was something that happened in Paradise and I was like, this is why I don't watch This Is Us.
Yeah. But he's done a lot of different things. Like he did
Cars 2.
Gallivant, Cars 2, Crazy
Tangled.
Stupid Love, Tangled. Like he's got a lot of really good credits to his name.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Rebecca, highly recommend Paradise. It's been awesome.
Well, maybe when I get tired of space, I'll check it out.
And then lastly, Captain America Brave New World. I don't want to talk about it because my opinions are contrary to everybody else's. And everyone is getting really defensive about it. So, I don't know. Rob, what did you think of it?
You mean, I enjoyed it. I liked the movie. I liked what they surprised me because I saw something in a trailer that I thought the movie was going to take a slightly different twist for one of the characters. I know that you have issues with the treatment of one character in this movie and how I was
pleasantly surprised with how they handled that character.
Okay, great. Glad to hear that.
Vague as possible.
But that's okay. That was just for you and me. That's just for us. We know.
We can talk about it in the after
good.
party, maybe. I don't know.
Nope, I haven't seen it yet.
I liked the fact that it continued with Sam's issues coming out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier about carrying the shield, even though it's been at this point in continuity 3 years. It's not a perfect movie. I'll be the first to admit that.
It absolutely feels edited by committee.
Yes.
When the credits started to roll and it shows written by 7 different people, that's gonna be a problem no matter what movie it is.
Yeah, I think that I will argue, much like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because we know that went through multiple rewrites to change the story late in the game. This one being edited by committee, I think they did the best they could with what they had in the time they had to do it, and go like, "This is what we've got." I think it is more of a stepping stone to the things that were unlocked in like the Loki series, what we're going to get from Fantastic Four, and what we got from the Marvels.
That was my biggest fear about this movie in particular, was that it was just going to be a bridge movie for things that are coming up.
But it needs to be to a degree.
Yeah, but to me, that is all that it felt like. It felt like the movie existed for one reason: to introduce an upcoming MacGuffin.
And I would disagree with you on that.
Welcome to comic books, Rebecca. This is MacGuffin Central. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I feel like you can still also make a quality movie.
Yeah. I would argue that I think that it was a bridge movie also in a different way that you probably were also thinking of, with Harrison Ford picking up the John Hurt role and having to take on that character, plaster on a mustache at one point to go, no, really, I'm the same guy.
Awesome. Awesome.
But I think that I understand your point about it feeling like a bridge movie. I think that it was partially a bridge movie. I think there was partially also a bridge for Sam, because we see him take steps in his journey of fully embracing the role. He understood thank you, Kyle. William Hurt, not John Hurt. Of taking on the role of Captain America, because we saw at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier the brilliant speech that he made about being a black man in this uniform, and everybody looking at him and just kind of questioning why you're carrying the shield. But then watching in this movie, people just walking around, he walks anywhere and people are just calling him Cap. And I'm like, okay, there's an acceptance that he has not had, but there's still the doubt in his mind of imposter syndrome. So I think that for me, the breakout of this movie, and it's an actor that I have loved since the early 80s, Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley. I loved the way that he portrayed Bradley in this movie.
I loved him in this movie. I hated so much the way his character was treated in this movie.
Agreed. Oh, no, I'm right there with you, but I love the way, I think that the way that his character was treated was necessary for some story advancement.
Yeah.
But also, I like the fact that Bradley didn't pull the punches about how he felt about Sam still carrying the shield and, just like not really understanding the weight of the shield. I love the fact that he was there still, despite his reservations, to mentor Sam and that they have a relationship. I would have loved to have seen Eli, and I know that they cut Eli Bradley out of this, and I don't feel that him not being there was necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's nice to see, at least in this aspect, the generational legacy of Isaiah Bradley. And Bradley is broader known in the movies than he is in the comic books. Because basically, it seems like only the black community of superheroes and Steve Rogers know about Isaiah Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
Other than like certain government officials. And it seems like everybody else is like, so who's the old dude? And everybody looks at, token white guy at event goes, who's the old dude? Why is he here? And all of the black people go like, you just need to shut your mouth right now.
That's the first Captain America right there. That's the second Captain America right there.
But in this one, everybody knows who he is, and I think that part of the problem for him was he is known as a super soldier. He's known as Captain America. His activity was publicized. So the fact that he gets that kind of recognition, I loved. And I mean, Black History Month, so not only did they do this, much like Black Panther's release during Black History Month, I love the fact that even for a bridge movie, the fact that we get representation on screen and not just of a black man in a lead role, the new Falcon. I'm enjoying Danny Ramirez's role.
He has the most personality in this movie out of everybody else. I really loved him. I loved him quite a bit. But like you were saying about Black History Month, the way that they were treating Isaiah Bradley through the movie, I did keep thinking, oh my God, and they're doing this during Black History Month. I cannot believe my eyes, what they are doing to him.
Okay, how to put this without getting overly political about it. Isaiah Bradley, after the event, was treated like any other black man in America would have been treated, especially in that circumstance. The fact that Sam had to step in and barely kept people from pulling the trigger is like, okay, yeah, they respect Sam enough to be like, all right, maybe we won't, but it's like, okay, this is a black man's life in America, period, full stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To me, I feel like this movie just copy and pastes a lot of the cool stuff from Winter Soldier and Civil War, and it's particularly in the fight scenes. There was one fight scene I thought that they poured the most creativity into, which is the big sky fight, which is about 3/4 of the way through the movie. I felt like that was the most excited I felt during the entire movie. I wish I hated this movie. Instead, I feel even worse about it because I feel nothing about it. I didn't hate this movie. I didn't love this movie. I'm not moved. I'm not excited, but I'm also not egregiously angry at it. I feel like I went and I stared at a screen for 2 hours.
So maybe this was much like Kendrick Lamar's halftime show and not for you.
Kendrick Lamar's show was for me. I liked Kendrick Lamar's show.
I was taking a very hyperbolic stand on that.
And that, it's fine. It's fine. It's not for me.
Here you go. It was a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I didn't go in looking for politics. What we got was basically another political intrigue movie like Winter Soldier. I totally can understand your points and see your points about taking bits and pieces from other movies and sprinkling them in and going, we got a movie, and that's fine. But I think that at the end of the day, I went in to be entertained. I was entertained.
Mm-hmm.
I got to shovel popcorn in my mouth. I got to wear my costume and take my shield out, on the town for a night. It was great. I wasn't looking for really more than that, other than hoping there was not going to be a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. It was. I actually plan on seeing it again because I want to see some things that I might not have picked up on the first time, not necessarily Easter egg wise, but just kind of nuance wise, because I was too busy just kind of got to make sure I take it all in. Got to make sure I take it all in the first time. Bug Hunter 801 makes a perfect point. It was a fun time. Is it a masterpiece? No. Is it Shrek? No. It's a fun time. Bingo. That's,
and
that's
wish
what it is.
I wish I could agree. I didn't think it was fun.
and you know what? That's okay. I respect your opinion a little less, but
that's fine. That's fine. Like I said at the beginning of this, my opinion is contrary to the public opinion, and
that's not really that unusual with.
I was gonna say
that's Rebecca. One post credit, very end.
Oh my God, I don't want to talk about the post credit scene, but like.
Well, let's not talk about it then.
What are we doing? Anyway,
we're setting up Robert Downey Jr.
So
it's fine. Whatever. It's fine.
Here's my thing. This stems back from all the way back from when the comic books, when Falcon took over. How come they never gave him the super soldier serum? You're gonna make
They talk about
America.
that in the movie.
Okay,
they talk about this in the movie.
That's good enough. Okay, they're actually going to address it. All right.
Yes,
yeah.
And they talked. I can't remember if they discussed it at all in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember them talking about it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but yeah, that's always been. And like I said, even back to the comic books, I'm like, if you're going to make this guy Captain America, juice him up like Captain America. Why the heck not?
He is.
So.
See, I'm trying to think if there have been other captains. Bucky in the original, in the comics, never had the super soldier serum.
No, he was just a guy.
He was just a guy who happened to have a robot arm.
But he has it in the MCU now.
He has it in the MCU. Well, and that's questionable because they made it sound in Falcon and the Winter Soldier like it diminished over time.
Well,
and by the end of the series, they made it sound like he no longer had it in his system.
I think they walk back on that based on
and
the trailer
I think they do.
Thunderbolts when he says Red Guardian says, "What kind of super soldier serum did you get?" Yeah. And he said, "I got the Hydra." So he's like, "Oh, the good stuff." So
yeah. and this movie again, it's not going to be for everybody, and I'm not talking about the people who are just like, "Oh God, woke Marvel movie." Definitely not for them.
Egg says they lost the super soldier serum. Just close imitations. I don't think that's entirely true because the stuff they gave U.S. Agent was
it was a variant because
it wasn't the same.
They lost Erskine's serum. Actually, they didn't lose it. Peggy poured the last of it out in Agent Carter
because they gave some to Abomination in the Incredible
Again,
Hulk.
A variation.
No, that was the same stuff.
I just want to say I love you all so much.
Jake's over here like just being quiet.
This
is how we feel when you talk about properties that you've worked on. Just like, oh God,
yeah, no, I get it.
Just keep going.
I get it. No, I legit do.
Egg points out this piece as well, which is accurate as well. No Vita rays, so there could be a difference based on that. Because I could have sworn that the number on the vial was the same as the number in Captain America, but he did.
I mean,
not
many
give
things
him
can
the
have the
Vita
same
rays.
numbers.
No,
it's not,
Rebecca,
it's not
numbers
GH
are
324.
No.
And it's not from GH 324 either. So there's your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference for the day.
Ta-da!
Anyway. We're gonna go to the after party, and
anyway, the
end. We can argue more about Captain America over at the after party.
We're not arguing. I'm not arguing.
Yeah. We're having a lively discussion.
Just discussing.
I'm discussing pointedly.
Geekshowgotthis.covered.com if you want to hang out with us. We're going to go over there. Thank you, Jake, for joining us again this
Thank you so
week.
Much.
Yeah.
I love
so
this.
happy to have you.
Legit love you guys.
Oh, I love you too. And Bug Hunter also says what the new Harley Quinn. I caught up on Harley Quinn.
Oh
that show.
same. Fantastic
So good this season.
so
Okay.
Yep.
We'll go talk about it some more at the after party. Okay.
I do want to throw out one thing though.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't know when when does the podcast version of this drop?
Monday.
Tomorrow.
Okay, Monday.
Sunday night.
I just have to say, this is a little bit for Tony, but for everybody, March 5th, my next Rick and Morty comic hits shops.
Yeah.
And the trade version of my previous Rick and Morty comic drops.
Sweet.
So circle
yeah.
March 5th on your calendars for me, in case I'm not back before then.
Well, we can try to have you back. I don't see a problem there.
We like having you here. We love having you.
Okay, we'll see you at the after party, everybody, and thanks for joining us this week on the episode of Geekshow Podcast: Kid Mutiny. Goodbye.
Are we done?
I guess.